Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25, and today we have the biggest game of the season thus far. The 6-0 South Carolina Gamecocks will face the 5-1 Missouri Tigers in the battle for the Mayor's Cup. South Carolina has started off 6-0 and have rocketed to number 12 in the rankings, but they face their toughest and highest ranked opponent today, the 5-1 number 9 Missouri, who's only lost this season is to number 1 Auburn. However, this is a team that I think does have its flaws. Yes, they're 5-1, but their 5 wins are against teams who have a combined record of 9-21. The Gamecocks, though, you could argue the same thing. Outside of a victory in LSU, have they really played anybody? So a big test for both teams. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. These teams met last year, and it was the Gamecocks victorious in Columbia, South Carolina, 45-18. We'll have to see what the outcome is today in Columbia, Missouri. You can just feel the big game energy in the air. Is on the first down. The first play is DeMarco Ness, who scrambles for a gain of 6. Ness, the redshirt sophomore at quarterback, has emerged as a Heisman Trophy candidate this season. And we haven't faced a guy who has the legs that Ness does this year right away. He's got 2 carries and 16 yards. Be interesting to see how South Carolina game plans for Ness, as here they have a spy on him in Perkins. And Ness wants the deep ball, and this one is incomplete. Parking a Laybourne there to break it up. Missouri will also go no huddle as they have a chance to break here, though, after the incompletion, and they gain at 4 on the ground. And now you see them pick up the pace once more, but their first third down of the game. 3rd and 6. Ness to throw, feels some heat, dumps it off short, and he's almost intercepted. He's lucky that one's incomplete, and Missouri will punt it away to the South Carolina offense led by the redshirt freshman Shaquille Brock and Wade Mann at his side. Brock passed the test in LSU last week. Hits the road here again this week, as on the first down play, he dumps it to the sidelines. 2nd and 10, handoff to Wade Mann, who picks up 9, and it makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 1. They hand it off to him again, right side, and he's going to follow Deshaun Merriman for a first down. 2 carries, 21 yards for the redshirt junior. Sawyer checks in first down as he's up the middle. He's a great change of pace back as the senior from Georgia picks up 5. 2nd and 5. Next play, handoff man up the middle and just continuing to create running lanes as this offense moves the chains. Go right back to the ground. Sora with a huge burst of speed gets 6. 2nd and 4 now, just wearing out the Tigers defense. Brock now to the air. Will move to his right. Nobody open, just dumps it out of bounds. Now you face a 3rd down of your own. 3rd and 4. Double A gap look. Missouri bluffs the blitz. Brock in the pocket dumps it short for McNitt, and Otis McNitt will have the first down out to the 14. 3rd first down of the drive for the Gamecocks today. As now inside the red zone they go. 1st and 10. Handoff Soro left side, and he picks up 3. J.J. Burden with the stop. This is now 2nd and 6. Brock to the air, looks across the middle, has McNitt, and he catches it for a touchdown. The first career touchdown for Otis McNitt, and South Carolina will strike first. They lead 7-0. Missouri's second drive, now they're playing from behind. We'll see what they do. Here's a handoff to Boutte, and Silas Boutte gets into the open field. He's got a foot race down the sideline, but he's stopped after a gain of 56. Silas Boutte, the impact halfback, one of the best offensive players in the SEC, with a big gain there. Next play, they want the screen, but it's thrown behind the receiver. 2nd and 10, this is the first completion for Ness. It's a touch pass to Aaron Clem. Colby Boyette, the senior, all over that one, and now it's 3rd and 11. Ness to the air, looks at the marker, and a nice throw. Completes the first down. It's the big-time Heisman-level throw there. Keeps the drive alive. Now Missouri in the red zone as a dump-off pass to Boutte, who will race forward for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. South Carolina late getting back to the line, but it doesn't matter because there's a nice tackle. Minimal gain there as it'll make it 3rd and 7. Ness to the air, wants it all, and it's incomplete. And Missouri will kick 3. Both teams on the board. It's now 7-3 as we're a little over halfway to go here in the first quarter. As on 1st and 10, it's a run of 5 for Mann. Already at 5 carries, 38 yards on the afternoon. 2nd and 5, quick hitter to Saban, but he can't hold on. Nice hit by J.J. Burden, the former walk-on at corner, who's really made a name for himself. Now 3rd and 5. Brock goes right back to Saban, though, and he beats his man off the line. 43 yards passing already for Brock. He's in enemy territory. As on 1st and 10, they want this bootleg again. They can't connect. There is a flag down, so play won't stand anyway. So there's going to be a holding against the center, Stephen Colombo. Let it back South Carolina up. Now 2nd and 10 to get the penalty yardage back. As they hand off to Soro, who cuts up field. A nice move, gets him a 1st down. South Carolina wastes no time getting the 1st down after the penalty. Next play clock running down. Brock making some adjustments. With 1 second, he gets the play off. Wants it across the middle, but nobody's home. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. Brock back to the air. Dumps it off short. Has Juan Gallegos, and the freshman who leads the team in touchdowns, is inches shy of the marker. So on 3rd and inches, they trust Wade Mann, and he will get it. 1st down, South Carolina. Goal to go for this offense. As Brock on the next play faces some pressure, just gets rid of it. But it was Manny Canocchio off the edge, applying the pressure. 2nd and goal, Brock keeps it on the read option, and he picks up maybe 2 before spun down by Aiden Ellington. Now a 3rd and goal from the 8. Brock to throw for it. Looks across the middle, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Manny Canocchio, and the former walk-on has the pick. That's just a panic throw by Brock, and with that, he's picked off for the first time since the 2nd game of the season. And that'll bring us to the end of the 1st quarter. South Carolina leads 7-3, but left some points on the field towards the end of that 1st quarter. As you can see, both running backs off to a solid start today. Missouri has made the most of the turnover. That's at 38 of South Carolina to begin the 2nd quarter. They hand it off to Boutte, who has a nice space to the right side, picks up 6. They'll continue to go with this no-huddle offense. As Ness to the air wants a screen, and it's read by Perkins, who stops him after a gain of about 1. Now you get a big 3rd down and 2. It's going to be a handoff to Boutte up the middle, has the 1st down, keeps the drive alive. That's what you expect out of your halfback. 7 carries, 74 yards. As he gets his 8th carry here, a little bit of a slow start. He only gets 3 before being brought down by Boyette. 2nd and 7, it's an RPO out wide. However, I think there was a lineman a little bit far downfield, so the 1st down won't count. They're going to get the center, Jeremiah Gibbon, with an eligible man downfield. So that'll back him up for 5. As it's now 2nd and 12. Missouri goes empty, 5 men in the pattern. Ness feels the pressure, gets outside the pocket. Nobody's home, and he's able to pick up some yardage. But there's going to be another holding call. This time it's on the right tackle, Dexter Hinson, the former Division II Grand Valley State transfer, call for the penalty. So now it's 3rd and 22. Ness drops back, and he just dumps it off short, but it's incomplete. Read perfectly by Perkins. And Missouri's actually going to try the 54-yard field goal. The sophomore Sean Etheridge, the kicker, he's 71% on the season. From right hash, there is a circling wind as well, and he is missed it left. So Missouri comes up empty after a solid start to the drive after the INT. So we stay at 7-3. But unfortunately for South Carolina, they get nothing off the missed field goal. They go 3 and out. So ball goes right back to Missouri as they're at their own 37. And again, there's going to be a holding call on the Tigers. This time it's impact left guard J.R. Angel, one of the best interior linemen in the SEC, who's called for the holding. Now 3rd and 14, but there's going to be a jump on the right side. Greg Bodden jumped a little early, and there's just some sloppy play from both teams in the early portion of this game. Just some unnecessary mistakes. So instead of now 3rd and 14, it's 3rd and 9. Missouri with a little bit of a better shot here as they go empty, and it's a deep ball, and it's intercepted, picked off by Malik Asante. He's going to run it back, and he's going to be tackled down at the 41. The 3rd interception of the season for DeMarco Ness, and it sets up South Carolina nicely as both teams just continue to just give it up to the other team. 2nd and 3 now for South Carolina. Quick pass for Saban, but this one is going to be coming back. Holding call on the offense. They're going to get right guard Kevin Fine this time. And both teams just continue to be handsy on that offensive line. Now South Carolina faces a 3rd and 12. Brock just dumps it off short for Mann, who will get some space, and he's going to be tackled down at the 33. And at least that puts South Carolina in field goal range. A 50-yard try here for Marquise Otogwe. Big wins coming from right to left. It's pushing the football, but it squeaks in, and South Carolina will extend their lead. They're now up 10-3. Missouri will get the football. They're at about midfield, so they're putting together a pretty solid drive of their own. As here's a handoff to Silas Boutte. who picks up 9. Good start for Boutte. 10 carries, 86 yards for the junior. It's now 2nd and 1. They bring a man in motion. It's a touch pass to number 19, Jabari Ojabo, who gets a first, but it's not going to count. J.R. Angel again gets called for the hold. That's the 3rd holding call of the first half for Missouri. 4th total flag on the offense. 2nd and 11, though, getting outside. This is going to be a first down. Jeremiah Carmona with it. And they stay going hurry up. South Carolina with a bad job sealing the edge in that play. Gives them the first, as now they go play fake. Only a 3-man rush. Now here comes the 4th. Ness wants to cross the middle, but it's incomplete. A huge hit laid down, frees the football. 2nd and 10, try to dump off short, but this one's read to perfection by Troy Haslam. A loss of 1. Now it's 3rd and 11. Ness going back to the air. Wants the first down, but he hits his halfback in the legs. That'll force the Missouri punt. They won't try it this time, as now we've reached the 2-minute warning. South Carolina at the 44 of the Tigers, as this is a throw behind McNitt, who gets about 9.5. 3rd grab of the day for McNitt. Now South Carolina will run a little bit of clock. No reason to really push the football here as you get it back at the half, and there's a great throw to Wine Gallegos at the sideline. So that'll stop the clock after a first down. They go to McNitt again, who can't hold on through the contact. Clock will stop now, 2nd and 10. Brock across the middle finds Juan Gallegos for a first down, and it's goal to go now here for South Carolina, pushing the football down to the 7 of Missouri. Letting the play clock run, 1st and goal, and Brock is going to be sacked. Dominique Parmelee, one of the guys there. After a timeout, they go short. Gallegos with it, catches it, takes a huge hit. South Carolina will burn their 2nd timeout. 3rd and goal now. Brock to the air. He actually tries to scramble, and he can't get it. He's hit as he throws. Incomplete. That'll set up South Carolina for a 21-yard field goal, and Macriso Togwe will miss it. He doesn't push it enough. And South Carolina, after all that, will go into the half only up 10-3. As even though they have a lead, sloppy football on both sides for both teams. But it is the Gamecocks up in front by a touchdown, and they will get the ball to begin the 2nd half. But this is still anybody's game in Columbia, Missouri. We'll see if the Gamecocks in this drive can separate themselves. It's been about a 1-score game for the entire game, as they start their own 25-yard line with a run up the middle for a gain of 7. Man out to 74 yards rushing. I think overall Missouri's done a pretty solid job of stuffing him on the ground. As on 2nd and 3, he bounces off a tackle, and this is a good run. It's just what Man's so good at doing is he's so shifty. After 2 runs, the Gamecocks already out to the 46, as here's a rollout pass for Brock as he just dumps it to the sideline. Good coverage downfield. Brock only 14 for 24 today. 143 yards, though, and a touchdown. 2nd and 10, man stuffed almost immediately. Manny Canocchio, one of the men on the stop. And now it's 3rd and 9. They go with a draw to Man, and it works. The Missouri Tigers caught well off guard, as now Man has crossed the century marker. I want to say they've done a pretty good job of stuffing him. He's starting to get going. 1st and 10, Brock tries to keep it. He loses to Aiden Ellington on the stop. Next play, now they go traditionally back to Man as he picks up 4, and it's another 3rd down for South Carolina. 3rd and 8 from the 36. Brock clean pocket, looks short for McNitt, and he doesn't see it. Doesn't turn around in time. That was an incomplete pass, and now it's going to be a 53-yard try for Otogwe, who missed one at the half from short, and this one is the accuracy, but it's just short. And it's still a 1-score game. All that for nothing, as Missouri now still down by 7. Starts off their own 36 with a run to Silas Boutte, who picks up 3. The Tigers will go immediately to no huddle. They give it to him again, this time off tackle, but the Gamecocks do a good job rallying to the football. As now it's going to be 3rd and 8, bunch to the right. Ness to throw. As he has the pocket, he looks short, and a catch and run will get the first down. Aaron Clem, the junior, able to move the chains. Missouri right back to the no huddles. They go into the pistol here. 1st down. Ness looks short. Has Boutte. Breaks the tackle from Boyette. And Boutte is inside the 30 down to the 28. This is a good drive looking for Missouri as they continue to push the tempo. Spread offense here. They hand off to Boutte up the middle. And Boyette and Cottrell there for a stop after a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 now, as it's another carry-off tackle to Boutte. And again, the Gamecocks, good job defending the outside the tackles runs today, as it's now 3rd and 7. Ness back to the air. 4-man rush. Gets outside the pocket. Nobody home for the Gamecocks, so this is going to be a first down and a little bit more as he slides down at the 12-yard line. Missouri has entered the red zone with a chance to tie the game. Boutte, 1st and 10, stuffed up the middle by Perkins. After no gain, now 2nd and 10. Screen out right side, but it's read perfectly. And that's going to be a loss of 1. Now it's 3rd and 11. Can Missouri move the chains again? It looks short. This one caught, and McCleskey will be driven out of bounds. And now Missouri will take the 3, so Gamecocks still with a lead. But now it's 10-6. After both teams' first drive, here's the second drive for South Carolina. Here's a shovel pass to Soro, who picks up 2. Again, Missouri done a pretty good job defending the pass. Is on 2nd down. There's a nice run stop by Brendan Haskins, and quickly South Carolina faces a 3rd and 10. Missouri brings the blitz. Brock outside the pocket looks short, but McNick can't hold on. Beautiful throw goes right through his hands, and it's going to be a punt now as Missouri takes over once more. Not only down by 4, but can they put the football in the end zone? 2nd and 8 here, a screen, and Boutte has it go right through his hands. Because of that, Missouri faces 3rd and long. Ness facing a 3-man rush. Looks deep. He's got his man open. It's going to be a touchdown. 45 yards to Aaron Clem. 5th of the season for Clem. And now Missouri has gained the lead for the first time today. 13-10. South Carolina now playing from behind. Them leaving points on the field has proven to be costly thus far as they now trail. After an 8-yard pickup from Brock, it's now 2nd and 2. Brock wants the deep ball, saving behind the defense, and he's got it. And South Carolina answers right back with a big play of their own. And once more, the Gamecocks out in front. Carl Saban continues to be a deep threat nightmare for opposing defenses. 17-13 your score, as a couple of quick fireworks have got us back to a 4-point deficit in favor, well, 4 points margin, that is. Holding call, though, on 2nd and 5 against Missouri. Dexter Hinson again, the culprit. Now Missouri faces a 3rd and 2. Ness with the keeper, but he won't get there. Good job crashing down on the defense by Laybourne. Holding call on Missouri, but it will be declined as J.R. Angel was called for the foul. And Missouri will punt the football away. This is the sophomore Jesse Rossi. Saban back, fresh off of the deep pass. Catches it, goes right side, cuts it back left. Saban's got some space. He gets around the defender. And Saban's got green grass in front of him. And he will go the distance. A punt return touchdown for the Gamecocks. And this has broken this game wide open. Now South Carolina leads 24-13 as we'll take it to the final quarter. An 11-point lead for the Gamecocks, their largest margin of the day. Here's a look at the top 25 rankings. Missouri currently at 9. South Carolina currently at 12. A lot of line in this game. Missouri faces a 3rd and 4 right after the intermission, and it's going to be incomplete, so they'll have no choice but to punt the football away. And with a quarter to go, up by 11, this is the chance for South Carolina to put the game away. There's a 3-yard run for Soro, his 6th carry of the day. May quickly chance back in on 2nd and 7 up the middle, and he's going to be stuffed after a gain of 3. 22 carries, 144 from man today. It's on 3rd and 4. Brock will roll outside the pocket. Keeps his eyes downfield. Last second fires it. Saban's open, but he just misses him. That's going to be a punt. Missouri catches a break. Got to do something with it here, though. 1st and 10. Greg Bott is not fooled on the play fake. That's the first sack of the day for the Gamecocks. It's a big one. Loss of 9. Thanks to the sack leader, Greg Bodden. 3rd and 9 now for the Tigers. Ness, 3-man rush, wants the deep ball in double coverage, but it's caught! Jabari Ojabo somehow comes up with that football, and Missouri's at the 14. A huge play by the junior receiver. As the next play is a short pass for the tight end as he gains 3. 2nd and 7, now a bubble screen left side for McCleskey again, who breaks a couple tackles, and he gets a yard shy of the marker. Big 3rd and 1 here. Ness wants to throw, and he's quickly sacked. Nobody blocks Caleb Cottrell as they get a little feisty on the field. Missouri takes the 3 to make it a 1-score game with 7 minutes to go. South Carolina up by 8. Carl Saban with a quick 8-yard hitter, his 6th catch of the day for 107. 2nd and 2, Missouri with a nice run defense there, stuffs man in his tracks. And now it's 3rd and 2. Brock wants to keep it himself, trying to get outside, but he can't do it. Frank Terrell with the stop. And now we've reached the 2-minute warning, and the Gamecocks are up by 8. Can they stop Missouri here? Will Ness lead a drive? That was almost it right there. Wide open receiver, and Ness missed him. Now it's 3rd and 10. Deep ball this time. Right side, but it goes through the hands of his receiver. Oh, it's a big miss. as now it's the game right here, 4th and 10. You need a first down if you're the Tigers. Ness takes the snap. 4-man rush across the middle. This one's batted down. That's a turnover on downs. Torrey Perkins with the hands, and now South Carolina is a first down away from winning this game. 1st and 10, man up the middle, gains 4. Missouri uses timeout number 1. Next play, man sheds a tackle, gains 3 more. Now it's 3rd and 3. Missouri uses timeout number 2. Will South Carolina run, or are they going to throw for it? 3rd and 3, they throw for it. There's Juan Gallegos with the grab and the first down, and that's going to be the ball game. South Carolina wins it 24-16 as they move to 7-0 on the season and get their biggest win in the Mayor's Cup. Not only do they bring the trophy back to South Carolina, but we have defeated a top 10 team, and at 7-0, I feel like the Gamecocks have really solidified themselves as a team to watch this year. 24-16 your score. Good win for the Gamecocks. It was a tough matchup. Missouri played tough, but Shaquille Brock, Wade Man, the offense, able to get it done. The defense played good as well. A solid team effort showing that this team is more than just a couple of players. This is a complete unit, and this has the makings of a special season for the Gamecocks. The job's not done yet, but sitting at 7-0 and 4-0 in the SEC, we are firmly in the driver's seat and control our own destiny in the conference. Get some commits after this week, too. 4-star wide receiver Terrell Benshaw from Alpharetta, Georgia will commit to the program, as well as getting on the defensive side Nate McCaleb, the cornerback from Alabaster, Alabama. Benshaw is a smaller receiver at 5'8", 186. He's more of a route runner. We haven't had a player of his skill set thus far in this series, so it'll be interesting to see how Terrell Benshaw gets some snaps, while McCaleb is a nice slot corner, as we will be losing Malik Asante in the offseason as we look to rebuild the secondary. He can play inside the nickel. We also, though, lose out on Ashton Overhauser, though, a guard who commits to Tennessee from our backyard in Duncan, South Carolina. We'll miss him, as well as Rylan Scassia, a guy who goes to North Carolina. Kind of bummed on him. He reminds me of Wade Mann, and I would have liked to have a player like that again. Here are your top stories coming out of the week. Arkansas and Texas battle in 2 top 15 SEC schools. Auburn and Georgia will meet this week in a national championship rematch. That should be a good game. Miami will face their rivals in Florida State. And then finally, we will see Penn State lose to Indiana. The Nittany Lions out of the playoff contention now. As far as the scores, Appalachian State starts off Monday night. They beat Arkansas State. Kansas State knocks off Texas Tech. We see Northern Illinois and Texas State for the first time in their schools meet. And it's the Huskies who come out on top. Also in the Mountain West, Wyoming beats New Mexico. Maryland drops a point to Illinois, 28-27. Ohio takes care of Bowling Green, knocking the Falcons out of the rankings. Michigan up to number 7 now as they beat Purdue. Georgia, fresh off a victory over Tennessee, will re-enter the top 25 before their big national championship rematch. Syracuse takes care of UConn. Auburn drops to Arkansas, so the Tigers number 1 no more, as the Razorbacks get a big win in College Game Day this week in Fayetteville. Louisiana Monroe beats Troy in the Sun Belt as far as the Big 12. BYU takes care of UCF. Miami getting ready for the Seminoles, beat Cal by a touchdown out across the country. Toledo drops to Buffalo. The Rockets 0-4 in the MAC. Oregon loses to the Golden Gophers. A big loss for the Ducks. A huge upset for Minnesota. That shakes up the rankings a little bit. Oklahoma now the new number 1. They beat Alabama by 14. Navy drops at home to Rice, who in my opinion should be a ranked team. And then NC State takes care of Virginia. Liberty does the same to Kennesaw State. Vandy picks up a victory over LSU. The Tigers once more not having a good season. Memphis knocks off Charlotte on the road. Nebraska puts up 55 points on the Bruins. Utah takes care of Colorado. I'm telling you, that eventual Utah-TCU matchup is going to be a big one in the Big 12. Wake Forest over Georgia Tech. Also in the ACC, Florida State over Boston College set the stage for their game against Miami. Wisconsin knocks off Iowa. The Hawkeyes go down for the second time this season. Sam Houston State takes care of Louisiana Tech on the road. Houston beats Arizona State 42-31. Oregon State beats Utah State as the Beavers move up to number 19. Virginia Tech takes care of Louisville, and Clemson does the same to North Carolina in the ACC. Boise State drops one to the Fresno State Bulldogs. Looks like there could be a new team on top in the Pac-12 this season, while Oklahoma State is still winless, 0-7 after dropping to Iowa State. UNLV with a nice victory against Washington State in the Pac-12. Western Kentucky enters the rankings after knocking off their rival Middle Tennessee State. And Rutgers upsets the Buckeyes 36-20. UAB takes care of Tulsa. Baylor beats Arizona by a point. Mississippi State with a huge win against Texas in pretty emphatic fashion, 38-7. How about that for the Bulldogs, 3-1 in the SEC. Tulane knocks off South Florida 14-11. Notre Dame could be the hottest team in football at 6 straight wins, this time beating Southern California. West Virginia over Kansas. And then we see Duke lose to Pittsburgh. TCU drops one at home to Cincinnati, so I guess forget that talk between Utah and TCU. The Horned Frogs lay an egg against the Bearcats this week. Kentucky knocks off Ole Miss by a touchdown. We see Penn State lose to Indiana. It was a close one at least, but the Nittany Lions now out of the rankings. Southern Miss finally gets back in the win column. They beat Georgia State. Ball State over their rivals in Miami, Ohio. SMU beats Stanford by a touchdown. Florida beats Texas A&M, who we'll see this week, 40-28. And North Texas barely escapes Temple. They continue to not move up thanks to these close wins. Marco Sendejo of UTSA is your defensive player of the week, as well as Brian Bahima of Syracuse is your offensive, responsible for 4 touchdowns this week. In the SEC, defensive is David Trevino of Oklahoma. Offensive is Tavon John of Georgia. As here are your rankings going into the new week, and look where the Gamecocks are. We move all the way to number 5. The 5th best team in the country, by far the highest ranking we've ever been in this series. Oklahoma, the new number 1. A lot of teams going down in front of us, which is why we were able to jump up so much, as well as a big win against the Missouri Tigers. And we are firmly in the national championship conversation. Your big games this week, we saw Miami versus Florida State, Arkansas and Texas as well. Notre Dame looked to keep their win streak alive as they play host to Wake Forest. And then, of course, the national championship rematch, number 25 Georgia at number 6 Auburn. This week, though, for us, it is a big game. We're 7-0. We're the 5th-ranked team. We head to face the Texas A&M Aggies, who are 3-4 and have yet to pick up a conference win. But in my opinion, this game has all the makings to be a trap game. We're going to Kyle Field, which at one point was the toughest place to play at in the entire country. Still is one of the top places to play. Texas A&M, despite their record, is still a very talented team. We're fresh off a huge victory against Missouri, so we cannot take our eye off the ball. This is a definition trap game, and we're hoping to avoid that against the Aggies because this is the best season we've had, and I cannot wait to see what unfolds. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. How about that? Another victory for the Gamecocks. If you've enjoyed, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.